Then, of course, after Raison, things are ripening up, and we get into the harvest period, right? That is indeed me, right there. Yep. That's how I look on a normal, everyday basis when I'm not here teaching. So, all right. So what defines maturity? And it's really dependent upon the wine style goals. But how we define maturity is, of course, through primary chemistry like Brix PHTA, which we've talked about with Kathy. And then, of course, things like phenolics even. Sometimes we do measure phenolics in the lab. There's limited utility truly to this kind of data, but to phenolics, we don't really know how to use phenolic information to make decisions, but also berry sensory characteristics. So we do go out and we eat fruit and spit it out in our hands and do all this stuff, taste seeds, look at seeds, and really have a think about how stuff tastes. Again, I teach a course called the Vineyard Practicum, and we actually go over how you actually do this objectively as a grape grower winemaker. So I just want to show you this, because some of this course I want to show you some of the kind of weird nonsense stuff that you're going to see in the wine industry as you leave here. If you continue in the wine industry, or if you just continue as wine connoisseurs, there's a lot of nonsense in the wine industry. And it's because, there's a lot of marketing, of course, right? And what is marketing if not just lying and nonsense? So I just want to show you some stuff that's kind of interesting. So you can see here, this is some stuff from this winery, and they put out some marketing material here. The wines here, by the way, are fantastic. But it says each AVA, which is a region, American Viticultural Area, has a long growing season allowing for flavor development and acid retention and proper physiological maturity. All right, physiological maturity is when you have viable seeds. You have viable seeds at veraison. The reason the grapevine changes color, the reason the fruit changes color is so that birds and other animals can see the fruit, eat the fruit, and then poop out the seeds, and then spread the grapevine. Right? Plants just want to spread themselves around. That's their biological imperative. So if proper physiological maturity, physiological maturity is when the seeds are viable. All right? It's a little bugaboo of mine. It's only because I hear this all the time, even from winemakers, because winemakers oftentimes don't have really enough plant science background to really be any kind of use on a farm whatsoever, even though a lot of times they're put in positions where they're in control of farms, but they actually have no idea how a farm works or how plants work. And so they often will use these terms to sound smart and be like, yes, we pick it when it achieves physiological ripeness. Like, what? Makes no sense. All right, rant over. Yeah, the thing I haven't mentioned here is root growth. So we do get little root flushes. So the roots do grow right before bud break, and then kind of at bud break and just after bud break is when we get, generally consistently, we get a root flush at that time. And then sometimes we will get one at the end of the season as well, going into the winter, but not always. Generally, this is the most common one that we get, is the springtime root flush. Okay? So yeah, maturity is commercial maturity. The time it takes to get to that time, the time it takes to get from bud break to commercial maturity, is going to be based on a number of different factors, but variety, rootstock, and of course region and climate and weather as well are going to play a role in that. So different varieties take distinctly different times to get ripe. So you can see here, this is data from Colorado. You can see Chardonnay here takes 142 days from bud break to harvest, as where something like Sangiovese takes 166 days, right? So that's going to dictate what you grow where. So I'm going to grow Chardonnay, Pinot Noir in cooler climates and Sangiovese in the warmer climates that have longer growing seasons. Okay, so now we've gotten through the whole cycle, and then finally after harvest, the leaves fall off, and then we head into dormancy. All right, cool.